Hey everyone, my name's Raven, and I'm going to go ahead and let my audience introduce themselves first.
I'm Draven Richards.
I am Brian Berger.
Alright guys, if you could just take a seat for me. First, before we begin, I want to thank you guys for coming out to come listen to me. I'm going to go over 3 key concepts that I use to build a resume, including beating ATS, structure of a resume, and virtual resumes. I'm going to tell you a little about myself. I have been building resumes for 3 years now. All of my clientele are from varying professions. I've made resumes for people in the drilling field, construction management, interior design, and sales. In all instances that I have used my expertise to build an effective resume for my client, combined with their own expertise in their field and their charm, they've always gotten the position that they were applying for. So I'm just going to go over 3 basic things that I consider when I would build a resume for you. To start, we're going to go over ATS. 64% of employers use ATS when looking for candidates. ATS is the applicant tracking system. What this system does is it scans all of the resumes that it receives, and it picks up keywords that are from the job description. And whatever resumes match a certain percent of those keywords are the ones that it'll send to the employer to review. So your resume can be completely skipped over and never even looked at if it doesn't fit the ATS criteria. To get past the ATS, I usually have a job description, a copy of the job description on hand right next to me as I build the resume. And I will incorporate specific keywords from the job description within the resume without being too excessive and without just copying and pasting it either. You want it to have a good flow. Because you need the specific keywords from the job description, it is absolutely necessary to remake your resume, adjust your resume for each job that you're applying for. That could be really time consuming. It really can. Luckily, it's something I enjoy doing. So secondly, we're going to go over structure of the resume. The structure of the resume can really affect how your resume gets read through the ATS as well. Sometimes there are times where the ATS will skip over entire portions of your resume if it can't identify the sections. So imagine your entire skills section of your resume just not being read. We don't want that to happen. So to prevent this from happening, I always make sure that the name is the first thing you see. It's the biggest thing on the resume and most identifiable. From there, I make sure there are clear and consistent sections and headers. And I use professional fonts and colors because, again, anything tricky is just not going to be picked up by the ATS, and it might not even consider your resume. Lastly, in today's society, everything goes hand in hand with virtual reality and anything online. So you also want to make sure that you have a strong virtual resume. Now, 77% of recruiters use virtual resumes to recruit candidates. One problem that everyone consistently reports is that they don't see enough depth within those virtual resumes, which just completely goes against exactly what they're meant for. Virtual resumes are for the employer to get a better understanding of who you are as a person professionally, to see your achievements and your accomplishments. The virtual resume is for you to personalize and utilize. This is where you can incorporate some of your best work, some of your best research projects from when you were in school, or even some of the accomplishments or specific things that you did while you were in past employments, past internships, or volunteer work, all things that you wouldn't be able to cover in your cover letter nor your resume. Not only is this going to be an efficient way for your employer to see who you are as a person, but it's a great networking technique. There have been times where I'm at work serving someone and they mention that they're in the type of business that I want to get into. Or sometimes you're in an elevator and you come across a fellow business owner, and instead of just passing up on that networking opportunity, you can say, let me get your LinkedIn account, let me get your Indeed account or your Monster account. And that really does build your networking on the site as well. So when an employer goes to see your virtual resume, he's going to see how well networked you are as well with other people that are ambitious like yourself. So these are just some basics that I consider when making a resume for you. I hope that you would consider me when the time comes that you need a resume built, because I have the time for it, I have the passion for it, and I have the expertise on the matter. And if the time comes and you just have a few questions, please just feel free to ask me. So to wrap this all up, I just want to ask you guys, do you have any questions for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
How often do you update yourself on resume building?
Annually, I do research every year to update myself on the most effective techniques that year, as well as I also research what's going to be the best for the job that you're specifically applying for, that field.
Okay, alright. What apps do you use when making a resume for someone?
I myself use Word just because I can personalize it and something I'm most comfortable with. Any more questions?
How do you prepare making resumes for someone?
At that point, I will do background research on the company that you're applying for, try to see what jargon they use, the values that they have, incorporate that in your resume, and I also will ask for a copy of the specific job description that you're applying for. So is there anything else I can do for you guys today?
No.
All right, I just want to thank you guys one more time for coming out, and if you want my contact information, I have cards up here for you. Thank you.